All right, word problems and fractional parts of a number, which you guys have been doing for a while now. Yeah, Ethan. Here we go. All right, the sum of -4 and 5 times a number is multiplied by 3. The result is 212 less than 7 times the number. What's the number? All right, so you guys, we're trying to write the equation. So the sum of, so when it says sum, what does the word sum mean? Okay, that means we are adding something, right? And the two things we are adding are always in between the word and. So we are adding -4 and 5 times a number, okay? So we're adding -4 and 5 times a number. So that would be -4 plus 5n. Yes. Yes. You can. All right. Is multiplied by 3. When it says that, it means that whole sum, the entire sum, is multiplied by 3. So that means parentheses, and I like to put that in the front. If you were to put it here, it's the same thing. You have to distribute the 3 either way. Okay? Now it says the result is. That means what? The result is, what should we put down? What math symbol? Yeah, exactly. All right. 212 less than 7 times a number. Now, less than and more than, really important that you remember this, always go after whatever the next part of the sentence is, okay? So 212 less than means minus 212, but I left a space because it's going to be 212 less than 7 times the number, okay? So that 7n goes there. What is the number? All right, now we know how to solve. You guys probably have solved these a million times. So let's go ahead and distribute this. So that would be -12. And we're going to multiply the 3 to the 5n. So that's 15n. Okay. And we want to get all the n's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 7n from both sides. So I'm canceling the n's here. So I have -12 plus 8n equals -212. And we're going to add 12 to both sides. And we're going to divide by 8. Anybody know what that is? Did we do something wrong on this problem, you guys? No, we got it. We got it. All right. So the number is -25. If you get a decimal on these, you probably did something wrong because you're just finding like a number. All right. So do check that. Okay. Another random number problem. The number of ducks on the pond was doubled when the new flock landed. Then 7 more ducks came. The resulting number of ducks was 13 less than 3 times the original number. How many ducks were there to begin with? All right, so the number of ducks on the pond was doubled when the new flock landed. All right, what does the word doubled mean? Ethan? Multiplied by 2. All right, and it's just the number of ducks, so we use n. We don't know what that number of ducks is. So the number of ducks was doubled, and then 7 more ducks came. What kind of math should I write for 7 more ducks came, Chloe? Exactly, plus 7. All right, then it says the resulting number of ducks was. What math symbol does that mean? Yeah, equal sign right there, okay? Equal sign. All right, 13 less than. Here's that less than thing again. Whenever you see less than, leave a space and put -13 because it goes after whatever the rest of the sentence is, okay? So 13 less than 3 times the original number. So what do I put in the space here? 3n. 3 times the original number, okay? And now we're just going to solve. I'm going to subtract 2n this time. So I'm canceling the n's on this side. So I have a positive 7 equals 1n minus 13. And then I'm going to add the 13 over. And we get 20. Oh, by the way, on all these problems, we should label our answer 20 what? Ducks. right. 3/8 of the pieces unloaded were Victorian. If 1,624 pieces were unloaded, how many were not Victorian? All right, so notice everything was unloaded, right? That didn't change. So we're actually talking about whether or not something is Victorian or not Victorian. So you guys remember ratio boxes? Back from pre-algebra. Okay, there are other ways to solve these, but I really like these ratio boxes. Okay. So what we have here is something is either Victorian, not Victorian, and we have the total. And we're doing a fraction box because we have 3/8 here. So the fraction part always goes here, and the actual part always goes here. So we have words, then we have fractions, and then we have actual numbers. So 3/8 of the pieces unloaded were Victorian. Where do I put the 3/8? Ian. Exactly. Okay. 3/8 were Victorian. So if you're doing fractions or percents, you can just do the opposite here. If 3/8 of the whole were Victorian, how many were not Victorian, you guys? Yeah, 5/8. So we have to put a 5/8 here. And the total in any fraction box is always a 1. If it's a percent box, the total would be a 100. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That works too. That's a ratio. Yeah, you can do that too. Okay. All right. So if 1,624 pieces were unloaded, how many were not Victorian? Where does this 1,624 pieces go, Nate? You think it goes in the 3/8? Anybody know why that's not true? I don't. Oh, hi. Anyways, you guys, it's not going to be here because it says 3/8 of the pieces unloaded were Victorian. How many were not Victorian? Actually, maybe it is going to be there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, Leo. Yes. Good. Because that's just talking about the total number. How many were not Victorian? Well, now I want to know how many were not Victorian. That X goes there. Okay. And we cross off the top. Boom. Goes away. And then we cross multiply. So I'm going to do this times this. 5/8 times 1,624 is equal to 1 times x, which is really just x. Okay. Instead of putting this in your calculator, you probably could pretty easily divide the 8 into these numbers, right? How many times does 8 go into 16? Twice. How many times does it go into the 2? It doesn't, so there's a 0 there. How many times does it go into 24? Okay. And then we can do 5 times 203. What's that? Yeah, very good. 1,015. And then you guys want to write